Welcome back to Smash Ultimate! So, by defeating the Rathalos, we actually unlock something of a fast travel system. Well, it allows us to jump from one side of the map to the other, so that's always nice, considering how much time I've spent just running around this map trying to find certain spirits off-screen. You're welcome. So yeah, that takes you to the other side, but that is not what we want to do for now. We want to make forward progression. So, next spirit is Lip from Panel de Pon, or as it was localized here in the West, Tetris Attack. So, Lip is a magical girl who basically has to solve her block-swapping puzzles in order to save the world, I guess. That was the plot of many blocky games like Puyo Puyo and Panel de Pon. They really liked their magical girls. So yeah, for this particular battle you have a Mii fighter who looks a lot like Lip. The lipstick item, which is in Smash, is spawning in. And we also have a Jigglypuff to represent Lip's cute little hair bow. So yeah, this battle's pretty simple, aside from the fact that your health is constantly draining. You do have to be quite quick with it. And not getting rested by the Jigglypuff is also pretty goddamn vital, because that also exacerbates the flower effect on your head, draining your health even faster. Yeah, when all this is said and done, you end up getting the Lip Spirit, which itself gives you the lipstick item. Anyway, that is that. You'll notice that I'm speeding this up editing-wise. Hell yes. Here is Alm and Salisa. They are the protagonists of the prologue of the game Fire Emblem Shadow of Valentia, which itself is a remake of the second Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem Gaiden. So, yeah, in the prologue they appear as kids, and that is why we have a pair of villagers that are just running from me, because non-combative units in Fire Emblem are referred to as villagers. And as the game goes on, they grow up and become their own lords, so to speak. They become the heroes. So yeah. Anyway, going over here, rebuilding a bridge. And the next battle is against Pachyderm from Yoshi's Story. So Pachyderm is an enemy that appears, I believe, just in the first stage of Yoshi's Story, and it holds up a big sign with a handprint on it. You can actually see a Pachyderm walking around in the background of this stage, albeit obscured by the trees. You can't pass him. It's impossible to go past the Pachyderm unless you ground pound near him, so yeah, that is why we have the Alolan Exeggutor, which itself makes it so you can't progress. That's a cool idea. Here are the viruses from Dr. Mario. The viruses are the, you know, the viruses are the very thing you're trying to clear out in the game Dr. Mario, as you play a Tetris-like to clear them out. And by completing the game at high difficulties, it is revealed that they are in fact aliens from space. Yeah, these are a bunch of space viruses, and defeating them and acquiring their spirit helps reduce poison damage. Can't poison a virus, it already is inherently poisonous. Here is Ricky from Xenoblade Chronicles, the first game. Ricky is a Nopon party member. He's part of the Nopon race. Despite his cute little fluffy Pikachu-esque appearance, he's actually 40 years old, and he has 11 kids. So yeah, this is a middle-aged man right here. And on top of that, he serves as your status effect dealing party member. His whole combat ethos is to basically stack so many status effects over his enemies that they can't even function properly, and they're just completely shot. And then he has one move called Say Sorry, which heals all of his opponent's stats effects, but does more damage depending on how many they have. So yeah, Riki can be an absolute devastator, so long as enemies don't resist his abilities. And it's for that reason that in this game, he is a master. He actually runs a dojo, which makes all of your special abilities more potent, while making everything else about you terrible. Arguably the worst of the masters in this game, unless you're the kind of player who likes spamming their B moves. I'm definitely not. I like my smash attacks. And what you're currently looking at is not indicative of that. Anyway. Here we have his dojo. Just have a little quick peek at it before we progress. And he also talks in an adorable fashion. He appears in Shulk's final smash, so you do get to see him casting his spells and talking in adorable gibberish. So yeah. Anyway, we have a treasure chest over here containing a lot of spirit points. That never goes unwanted. And here we have Camilla from Fire Emblem Fates. Camilla is a princess of Nor, that is to say the conquering faction in that game. And she is Corrin's eldest adoptive sister. And she also shares Corrin's ties to dragons. She herself has draconic abilities that allow her to basically manipulate the environment around her. And that is why this particular battle is taking place on the Spear Pillar from Pokemon, which itself has a bunch of dragons spawning in the background. And we have the poison effect to show off the environment being utterly destroyed by her. So that is that. Thankfully, this fight is just full of goddamn explosions, and you can use them to your advantage. Nice. And here, we have the main character of Xenoblade Chronicles. We have Shulk. Shulk first entered Super Smash Bros. In the Wii U game, Super Smash Bros. 4. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, he's one of the best characters in all of Smash. He's goddamn amazing. So, looking at him, you think, oh, typical anime swordsman. He has a big sword, and he has anime powers, whatever. But that's where you're wrong. In Xenoblade, he gets a sword called the Monado. A sword that can actually kill the Mechonis, the mechanical race that has basically taken over in the world of Xenoblade. And it also gives him premonitions. He can straight up see the future. In the intro of this game, when Galil was about to fuck everybody up, Shulk was the first person to see it all coming, and he couldn't do anything about it. He knew it was coming, couldn't stop it. So it's kind of serendipitous that we're saving him now. Anyway, in the game Xenoblade, as well as, you know, altering your ability to see the future and being able to take down machines, the game's core gameplay involved you changing your character's stats, so to speak, by using different arts. And that is represented in Smash Bros. By giving Shulk the best move in the game, his B move. He can change his stats. He can make himself a heavy character. He can make himself a light character. He can give himself supreme jumping ability. He can do absurd amounts of damage. Or he can make his smash attacks as powerful as Ganondorf's. The guy is fucking monstrous. So, yeah, a good Shulk is terrifying. All that, and he also has a counter, which straight up has him predict the future and slash you, so you can't hit him. Obviously, my big talk of how good he is kind of undermined when he just kills himself, along with me, but whatever, I'll take it. A win's a win. This is fine. So, yeah, that's the volcano area, or at least the base of it. Let's hop onto a train. Alright, let's actually make the track accessible first, and then get on the train. There we go, that makes sense. So here is the Spirit Tracks train, and first up we have the Phantom, who itself appears in both Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. Phantoms are essentially defenders of Hyrulean royalty that continue on in suits of possessed armor. They make your life absolute hell in the game Phantom Hourglass. Most of your gameplay revolves around trying to outwit and outmatch them. They really are a nightmare. And in the game Hyrule Warriors, Toon Zelda actually is able to wield the phantoms as her attack. That has been translated into Smash by giving Zelda the ability to use phantoms, and God, if she wasn't already an annoying character to fight, she fucking is now, with those big bastards spawning in and slashing you to hell. Thankfully, it takes a lot of charge-up time for her to fully form the Phantom, but when she does, ooh, they can kill. They can really kill. So, yeah. Anyway, here is Geodude. Geodude is a Rock-type Pokemon, introduced in Generation 1. Geodude later evolves into both Graveler and Golem, and is incredibly defensive, being, you know, a boulder with arms. So, yeah, the first gym leader of Generation 1, Brock, is known for using both a Geodude and an Onix. And, yeah, he's kind of the character who separates the boys from the men, who teaches you in the early game, you're going to run into some trainers who you need to use your advantageous typings against, otherwise you are barely going to scratch them. And, yeah, that is kind of how Geodude rolls. If you attack him with physical moves or with things that are ineffective, you're going to do piss all damage. Anyway, here we have the Dungeon Man from Earthbound. In Earthbound, there is a man named Brick Rhodes. Yes, that is his actual name. And he dreams, for some bizarre reason, of being fused with a dungeon. And the crazed scientist Dr. Andernuts makes that happen, fusing him with a dungeon, turning it into the Dungeon Man. So Luigi here is representing Brick Road as the Dungeon Man, hence his giant size. The stage we're playing on literally has a Brick Road. And, yeah, the music playing is itself from Earthbound, from Magicant. So, yeah. As, you know, Magicant is a world of dreams, and Brick Road's weird, weird dream came true. Good for him. Whatever makes you happy, Brick Roads. Oh, back on ourselves, lovely. Can actually make some forward progression. Here is a Woolheart from Fire Emblem Awakening. Woolheart is the Emperor of Valm, and serves as an antagonist for the vast majority of the game. Straight up having committed war crimes and atrocities. He's a terrible person. And yet, fuck. And yet you can still recruit him onto your team. And get married to him if you're playing as a female Robin, so yeah, you can have a big, terrifying, monstrous, evil husbando, if you so wish it. You strange, strange person. Anyway, let's build that bridge. Let's pop open that chest to reveal more spirit points. Getting a lot of those. That'll be a lot of fusing to do later. Here is Felix. Felix is a Golden Sun character. He appears as the anti-hero in the first game, the main protagonist of the second game, and he wields the Venus element, the Earth element, so that's why we had earthquakes there. He's also Jenna's older brother. Anyway, ooh, gotta keep up with this new editing style. Here are Kat and Anna from WarioWare. Kat and Anna are a pair of adorable ninjas. There's not much more to their character. They're ninjas, they love to eat, they love ninjutsu, they're ninjas. Yeah, a lot of the WarioWare characters are just very one-note and two-dimensional, but they're supposed to be because they're just vessels for which you can play your micro games. WarioWare Gold was the first WarioWare game with voice acting, and they gave Kat and Anna the most adorable voices in the goddamn world, so yeah. This fight is basically over. Thanks, Launch Star. By going to their dojo, and yes, of course they have a dojo, we learn the ninja style. Actually, you know what? This one's the worst in the game, not Ricky's one. This makes you bad at so much shit. Yeah, it makes you good at throwing and running away and hit and run tactics, if you absolutely have to rely on those to win a fight, but yeah, they make you so bad at just dealing direct damage, and that's not great. That's not great at all, so yeah. Anyways, moving on up. Here, we have Cammy from Street Fighter. Cammy first appeared in Super Street Fighter 2, or one of its derivative games. And, yeah, she is a clone assassin, engineered by Shadaloo. Later, she gained her own independence, so to speak. You know, not wanting to be a pawn of M. Bison's. And she ends up becoming an MI6 operative. In the game Street Fighter, most of Cammy's moves revolve around flinging herself around and kicking. So we have a Sheik here, who is doing specifically that. Flinging herself, or himself, themselves, with the down B move. And also using kicking smash attacks on us. So, yeah, that is representing Cammy's cannon spike move. Cammy as a character is pretty cool. She's one of the few British Street Fighter characters. And yeah, I dig that. And, oh, I'm about to get my shit kicked in. Oh, I don't appreciate this. Oh, no. It's a good thing I'm playing as Sagat, who absolutely tanks all the damage ever, because that could have been the finisher. Alright, this is a close one. This is a very close one. There we go. That is Cammy, and equipping her spirit boosts our kicking attacks. Lovely. Alrighty, so let's turn these tracks. There we go. Thankfully, you never have to change it back. It's not like one of those puzzles where you have to faff around with the train controls to go the right way. It's just a case of, you know, track equals yes. That's all you need. Here, we have Mauser. Mauser is a reoccurring boss from Super Mario Bros. 2. One of Wart's minions, hence why we're playing in the Subcom Super Mario 2 level. And, yeah, Mauser is a mouse who loves bombs. I mostly remember Mauser from the Super Mario Bros. Cartoon. I don't know why. Mauser just had an impact on me in that show. Bombs. Yeah, that was an easy one. All you have to do is not die to bombs. Kinda hit or miss, so yeah. Anyway, next spirit we have is Nibbles. Nibbles is like the Pikachu equivalent in the game Fossil Fighters, a game where you brought back dinosaurs and made them fight. Nibbles itself is a Nibblesaurus, but in this fight, a bunch of other characters can spawn. Bowser, Charizard, and Ridley. They represent Nibbles' later forms. Munchosaurus, Chomposaurus, and the Crimson Ravager. Fuck, that sounds cool. I need to play Fossil Fighters, evidently. I like my Pokemon, I like dinosaurs, why the hell not? Here is Ryoma, the eldest sibling of the Hoshiden family. He's being represented here by a Crom, which is interesting because they're both voiced by Matt Mercer. And wow, that was easy. Holy shit, that was very quick. Ironically, for such an easy battle, this gives us the best dojo. I put almost all of my spirits into this dojo, look at it. That's it. That's all I fucking need, isn't it? I mean, don't get hit, kill your enemies in a couple of hits, boom, go. So yeah, unless of course I'm fighting a boss who has like a ton of health, that's basically what I'm going to rely on for the rest of the game. So yeah. The demon style. Gotta love it. Moving up these tracks right here, we have the barrel train. This was Donkey and Diddy Kong's vehicle in the game Mario Kart Double Dash. So to represent that, we have both of them appearing on this spirit train. And yeah, we have Rainbow Road playing. The best Rainbow Road theme. Don't at me. And it's not just because of that one meme song, it's a legit very good song. Anyway, easy fight, nice and simple. That spirit gives us the dash attack boost. And here we have Gutsman! Gutsman appears in Mega Man 1 as one of the Robot Masters. He, a big strong boy. And by acquiring his Guts power, you are able to lift up and throw massive F-off boulders, which is situational because there aren't that many boulders in the game, but is very helpful where there are boulders. So yeah, this is a pretty simple fight, all things considered. You have a big Mega Man to represent Gutsman. The stage is a big rocky canyon because that's where Gutsman would be at his, strongest. The barrels spawn in to serve as throwable items. That is a good touch. I like that a lot. And, yeah, I've got to say, of all the Robot Masters, I feel like Gutsman is one of the most well-liked by Dr. Wily. Because Gutsman's general design is used in so many of Wily's robots. It is crazy. Anyway, here we have a Zebezian from the Metroid series. So, the Zebezians are the denizens of the planet Zebes. It feels weird calling it that, but that's apparently how you're supposed to say it. Not Zebes. And, yeah, not to racially profile, but the Zebezians are mostly space pirates, so yeah, you kind of have to destroy the whole planet in Super Metroid, taking all of them down and putting the space pirate menace to rest. Kind of horrifying when you think about it in any kind of capacity. Yeah, Samus has destroyed an entire planet with life on it. Anyway, moving on. There we go, blow up that rock, this is fine. Here is Medeus. Medeus is the main antagonist of Fire Emblem Mystery of the Emblem, the sequel to the original Shadow Dragon game. So, Medeus is an Earth Dragon who himself became a Manakete, and he despises humanity for their treatment of, the Draconic races, and yeah, he himself, basically resolves to become the next Shadow Dragon, and Marth and friends have to take him down. So for this fight, you have a Ridley who becomes Big Ridley to represent Medeus' rise to power, but otherwise there's not that much to him. By equipping him, we get resistance to lava, so that's nice. Here is the Diggernaut. The Diggernaut is a Chozo mining robot that appeared as a boss in Samus Returns, the 3DS remake of Metroid 2. But not in the original game, so Diggernaut is a wholly new boss added into that game. To represent it, we have the big yellow Rob, who... wow, he really does just look like a giant piece of, JCB construction equipment. That's great. And you also had the drills. Here is the Eggplant Wizard. Eggplant Wizards are basic enemies. Well, they're actually quite potent enemies in the Kid Icarus series, appearing in the original game, the Game Boy game, and also Kid Icarus Uprising. Their whole thing is that they can turn you into an eggplant, which makes you completely worthless. You can't attack, your defense is shit, you could just die to pretty much anything if you become an eggplant, and you have to go to a hospital in order to, revive yourself, to get yourself back to normal. So, yeah, to represent that, we have a fight where you, the player, are slowly getting weaker as time goes on. And, yeah, I can't be having that, so I am going to show this Eggplant Wizard who is the boss. What's cool about the Eggplant Wizard as well is the spirit he gives you for defeating him has an ability that we haven't actually seen yet. KOs heal damage. So, if you're playing a match against a bunch of enemies, and you take one of them out, you could get a big heal for it. So for battles where you're basically, set upon by an army of enemies, of which there aren't that many in this campaign, but, still. Yeah, you have an ability that you can use to completely overthrow that now, and that is rad. I like how many options there are for overcoming pretty much any obstacle in this game. It is very good. And this guy does not want to fucking die, holy shit. I know I've been weakened, but... god damn, 123%. And just not going down. There we are. Got him. Took our dear sweet time, but we got him. What's in this chest? It is... oh, I was about to say more spirit points. Those were skill spheres. That's much, much better. We can use that to give ourselves a good permanent upgrade. Which, of course, I'll be doing off screen, because I don't want to waste any more of your time than I already do. So, here we have Squawks. Squawks is an animal friend from Donkey Kong Country. And this particular spirit battle is representative of the Donkey Kong Country level Torchlight Trouble, in which you had to navigate, you know, a big area, while Squawks the parrot would carry a lantern around to help you see. So yeah, we have a big F-off stage where it's easy to get lost. We have the fog, which you can't quite see through. And yeah, the actual Squawk spirit, after you've defeated him in this fight, will give you the fog immunity ability. Really, really cool reference. Very direct. And there he goes. Here we have Daruk, one of the champions from Breath of the Wild. We've already done the comprehensive Breath of the Wild battle with Zelda and all of the champions, but, you know, it's fine. Why not just revisit one of them at a time as well? So, Daruk is the Goron champion. He's a big, jolly, powerful character, despite the fact that he is killed by one of the blighted Ganons. So, you know, kind of sucks in that regard, as it does for all the champions. Breath of the Wild is a very bleak game. Anyway, the reason he's wielding a big ore club is to represent Daruk's huge F-off club weapon that he's known for using. And on top of that, we have Donkey Kong playing him, because Donkey Kong is one of the biggest and bruisiest of the characters. And also Fire on the Ground to represent Goron's innate resistance to heat, and the fact that they live on Death Mountain, a giant F-off volcano. Wow, this fight's a close one. This could go either way. So, holy shit. Yeah, when you manage to clear the form of Ganon that actually killed Daruk, you end up learning an ability to shield any attack with him, and it's so OP, it's super good. Anyway, here is James McCloud, the original founder of the Star Fox team, hence his Ace Spirit designation. James was sadly betrayed and was killed in Venom, on the planet Venom, which is why we're currently fighting on the Venom stage. Yeah, he was completely screwed over by Pigma Dengar, because Pigma's a huge piece of shit. But that said, in the game Star Fox 64, where you go to Venom directly as Fox, and you take on Andross and finally take him down, you have a big final encounter where you have to escape the self-destructing planet. And everything is pretty bleak, and Fox is most definitely going to die, only to see a vision of his father, who appears out of nowhere mysteriously in his Arwing, which is strange for a vision to be doing. And yeah, he shows Fox the way to go and how to escape, and saves Fox's life. To represent that moment, we have James himself becoming more powerful and more potent as the battle gets more dire for him, and that is not great for me. This fight is really fucking hard and took me quite a few attempts. Essentially, I had to rely on my final smash to give me the win here. So yeah. Anyway, that is James McCloud with his cool shades. And that is a 4-star spirit for me. Yes, please. Checking this treasure chest, we have more snacks. Those are kind of, you know, null for me now with how many spirits I've started hoarding. Here is Volcanion. Volcanion is a mythical Pokemon introduced in Generation, I want to say 6? The reason I barely remember is because Volcanion had no actual in-game event tied to it. It's just a Pokemon that Game Freak occasionally releases as a distribution Pokemon, so yeah. Very elusive and not very well developed as a Pokemon. I would love to know more about Volcanion, honestly. I know there's a film about him, but I've stopped giving a shit about the Pokemon films, so yeah. Anyway, Volcanion is both fire and water type, which is a fucking cool combo. And yeah, that makes sense because he's a Pokemon who embodies steam. Hence why we had the fog. That represents the thick steam that Volcanion produces. Here is a Metroid. Metroids are terrifying, galaxy-threatening, bio-engineered weapons that can drain life from anything. They are kind of the worst. They were developed by the Chozo for the sake of combating the SAX virus. I guess the Chozo didn't have very good foresight because the Metroids ended up being just as bad, if not worse, than the very viruses they were created to destroy. So, yeah, there's a reason they're the namesake of the series and why Samus's whole adventure revolves around killing them. Because, yeah, they kind of are the worst. Granted, there was one Metroid that, you know, Samus bonded with and actually saved her life at the end of Super Metroid. You know, that one.
The baby, baby, the baby, baby, the baby, the baby, babies cry.
Yeah, the baby. Anyway, moving on. Here we have Zero Suit Samus. This is Samus when she's not doffing her power armor. And, yeah. She is a freakishly tall and incredibly powerful woman. She is one of the most badass characters in anything ever. Yeah, she's kind of TNA in her design. She's very, very cheesecakey when she's wearing this latex power suit, but whatever. She can own that shit. She's cool as hell. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, Zero Suit Samus appears very rarely in the actual Metroid games. Usually it's when she's forced into a corner and she can't use her suit for whatever reason, or if she loses her suit. That's when she has to bust out more stealthy gameplay, revolving around hiding from enemies and getting stealth kills on them and outwitting them. And that is kind of what Zero Suit's gameplay is. She is fast, she's agile, and she's very hard to hit. I kind of despise fighting her, so yeah. Anyway, here is Prince Peasley. Prince Peasley is the Prince of the Bean Bean Kingdom. There's not much to his character. He first appears as a boss, as a dinosaur. But after defeating that dinosaur, Prince Peasley reveals his true form and basically serves as an ally through the rest of the game. He doesn't do much, but, you know, he's a cool, suave, charismatic prince, and he has a cool little sword. So that's nice. Anyway, we are pretty much done with the volcano now, so let's head up this beanstalk and into this sky world. Here, we have the Centurions from the Kid Icarus series. They are basically the grunts of Palutena's army, and they are your allies in the original Kid Icarus game. As you progress through the game, you could find them frozen into statues by Medusa, and by releasing them, they would essentially fly by your side and fight alongside you against whatever boss you were working towards. So it was always in your best interest to try and save them. And in case you're wondering, yes, I did almost die earlier because of this awful stage. I hate this goddamn stage and the fact that when you get rid of the solid platforms, you can't even ledge grab. God, it sucks. I hate that. Anyway, there go the Centurions, who themselves were also Pit's final smash in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. He keeps changing his final smash for some reason. Anyway, here we have the Odyssey, Mario's flying ship, appearing in the Super Mario game of the same name. Wow, that was not hard. And moving on from the Odyssey. Wow, that was something of an anticlimax. Oh, hello. We can actually backtrack on ourselves. Nice. We can go back to that area down there. Nice. That's actually really helpful for backtracking, which I will be doing a lot of later. Here we have the Pegasus sisters, Pala, Katria, and Est from the original Fire Emblem. So, every single Fire Emblem game, nearly every Fire Emblem game, introduces a trio of Pegasus riders who, you know, as Pegasus riders, they're usually very, very agile, very powerful, very quick, weak to bows, but otherwise pretty powerful classes. So, yeah, the three Pegasus riders are usually quite closely linked to each other, personality-wise, or, you know, in terms of their actual one-to-one personal relations. And in many Fire Emblem games, they can initiate something called the triangle attack. in Fire Emblem, if you get 3 Pegasus Knights to surround a unit and initiate one of them to attack, they'll perform the triangle attack, which is pretty much a one-hit KO against anybody. So, yeah, Pegasus Knights have the potential of using the most powerful move in the game, and that's why they share a spirit here. The idea is that they are coordinating their attacks and making it hard for you to really fight back against them to represent Fire Emblem's triangle attack. But thankfully, I have a gunship. You know, Lyn from Fire Emblem Blazing Blade. She's well known for having a fucking gunship that fires a huge fuck-off laser, so this fits my Fire Emblem headcanon, I don't care what you say. And that is that. So, moving on, we've got quite a few spirits up here. First is Revali, another one of the Breath of the Wild champions. Revali is the Rito champion, and I did bring this up before, but he is similar to Falco in both looks and personality. He is an arrogant son of a bitch who spends most of his interactions with you looking down on you and talking shit at you. And yet he's super endearing. I don't get what it is about him, but he's very, very lovable in how much of a dick he is. That said, yeah, he does also get killed by one of the Ganon incarnations, which, of all the champions, it sucks to see him getting beaten by a Ganon. But when you avenge him, you get Revali's Gale, which straight up lets you fly. So, best ability in the game. Here is the Superstar, appearing in pretty much every Super Mario Bros. Game. You hit a Superstar and it makes you invincible, so you can just steamroll through your enemies. And the same can be said for Mario Kart, where it does the same thing. And in Smash Bros, it doesn't make you painful to the touch, but it does make you invincible. And, oh, that's where this battle is going. Oh, we're gonna be here for a fucking while. 2 minutes later. Yep, still going. Just keep fucking getting the... 2 minutes later! I hate this fight. This fight is just... 2 minutes later! Come on, please. Just... There we go! Fuck! Oh, that sucks. Oh, that fight is not fun. But that said... Oh! It leads us straight to Gleam. Holy shit. Wow. Okay, we could just take on the boss now. But we're not going to. We're going to take on a Chow. Chows are a bunch of small, adorable creatures that appear in the Sonic universe. They are creations of, or at least they are deeply connected to, Chaos, the god of destruction. And yet the Chow themselves are super fucking cute, to the point where you can raise them Tamagotchi style in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. And yeah, the character of, you know, Cream has a pet Chow that she keeps with her, named Cheese. Chows are great. Anyway, here is Tiki. Tiki is a Manakete, appearing in both Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and also Fire Emblem Awakening, because Manaketes have incredible longevity. So she's like one of the only characters who survives through both of those games, despite them being 1,000 years apart. And that is dope. Here is Mallow. Mallow is one of your party members in Super Mario RPG. He is a little cloud man. He is being played by a bunch of Robins, spamming thunder and thunderbolts to represent Mallow's own thunder abilities. And the stage we're fighting on, Magicant, is representing Nimbus Land, Mallow's home. Like any spirit battle that takes place on Magicant, you can in fact cheese this whole fight just by hanging around the bottom cloud, but you know, these Mallows aren't actually that tough, and the thunder item that spawns in gives you the opportunity to shrink them, so yeah, this is one fight where you can actually get up in their grill and show them the business. And you probably should. In fact, looking at the current situation, I've got all three of them on the ropes. There goes one. And all I need to do now is actually hit the little bastards in order to finish them off. That's the big if, though, is actually hitting them. Bloody tree! Oh my god. You are so annoying. You little shits! Oh my god. Small enemies can be a double-edged sword. There we go. Got him, eventually. Alright, so moving on, we have the spirits who love surprises, appearing in Yoshi, Topsy-Turvy, or Universal Gravitation. So to represent the fact that the spirit appears in that game, we have a stage that will occasionally flip itself 180 degrees. But, yeah, there's a very easy way of winning this one. I don't actually pull it off totally here, but I have done on practice runs. If you go hang out on that last cloud, and then wait for it to start petering away, and the Yoshis have followed you there, they generally can't get back on. So, yeah, you can just keep trying to do that, and you will just get free KOs out of it. So, yeah, this is another situation where you can definitely use the stage to your advantage, and you should. Because this fight can be quite a ball like otherwise. Anyway, we've taken out most of them with my horrible, cheesy, arguably cheating methods, so that's always good. Just one more to deal with, and it's always going to be the last one that gives me the most grief. Such is the way, that's just sod's law for you. Just need to get a nice clean hit on this spirit. Donk him out, there we go. That'll do it. Lovely stuff. So, next up we have Hudraw. Hudraw is a commander of the Underworld Army in the Kid Icarus series. What's cool about Hudraw is that all three of its heads have a completely different personality. And to represent that, we have three Ridleys, all three of them coming at you independently of each other. So, yeah, this fight can be a tricky one, if not for the fact that my Paper Mario is just a fucking beast. So, yeah. See y'all next time.